So Enlightened Bitch here, and I said I was going to start talking about shame a little bit more. It's really super low on this consciousness calibration scale, and I don't want to talk about shame on people because, you know, we've heard that term. Oh, shame on you. Shame on you for doing this. Shame on you for thinking this. Shame on you for being this way. But there are things that are shameful, right? Things are shameful. It's shameful to deliberately lie to people and be malicious. That's shameful, right? But we don't want to say shame on someone. It's the behavior that's shameful. But we don't want to shame people, right? Especially if they're needing to learn. They're needing to have those lessons. That's what they incarnated to do, was to do shameful acts. Yeah? So, to me, I believe it's shameful to lie to people, to tell them that something is something that it's not, when you know full well that it's not, but you tell them that it is. Yeah? So you deliberately manipulate, you deliberately lie, or you're half-assed about the things that you share. What does it mean to be half-assed? When you know the full picture and the full spectrum of something, but you're only going to share half of it because you want this type of a result. This is your agenda. This is your plan. Okay? So you know the full story, but you're only going to share half of it. You're just going to be half-assed in the way that you're going to present it to people because you have a motive and you have an agenda. To me, that's shameful. It's shameful. If that's what you incarnated to do, that's what you incarnated to do. But guess what? When you understand about the word shame, it means to cover, to hide. And we're here now when everything is being exposed and disclosed. So there's really not going to be any place for you to go. There's not going to be any place for you to hide. As terrifying as it is, you're going to be seen. We're all going to be seen. And it's okay. It's okay. I will always see your divinity because I can't look at you and not see myself, regardless of the shameful things that you do. It's not shame on you. It's the shameful things that you do. And at the end of the day, if I can see it in you, that means I can see it in myself. So if we can see it and recognize it in anybody else, anything that they do that we don't agree with and that we think is shameful, it's because we can see it within ourselves. Okay? So, it's shameful to lie about natural medicines. It's shameful to lie about GMOs. It's shameful to lie about artificial sweeteners. It's shameful to lie about antipsychotics and processed foods and RF and radiation and all these things. So certain things I can't even say because if I do, it might affect my video and it might get, I'm already being shadow banned, you guys, okay? I'm already being shadow banned. You have no idea how much content I try to share and it just doesn't end up happening. That's why I don't post that much, because I'll make a couple of attempts and it just doesn't go well, so I just stop. So when there's so many things that we've been pretty much lied to about, are we supposed to believe that these institutions and organizations and governmental whatever are going to be honest with us about this? You know what that's going on? That's kind of got everybody in a big uproar. I'm not even going to use a word because I'm already being shadow banned. You know what I'm talking about. How are we supposed to trust and believe that they're going to be honest with us about that if they're not honest with us about all these other things?
I'm here, Willie.
I want to trust you, but how can I?
What choice you got, son?
Oh, okay. Aldo, I'm going to trust you. Come down.
Hey, Willie, what's with the machine gun? I thought we had us a deal.
We do have a deal. Now get the girl and go.
Not so fast. We only got a deal. We trust each other. And a Mexican standoff ain't trust.
Whoa. You need guns on me for it to be a Mexican standoff.
You got guns on us. You decide to shoot, we're dead. Up top, they got grenades. They dropping down here, you're dead. That's a Mexican standoff, and that was not the deal. No trust, no deal.
Wilhelm, sei nicht dumm.
How? Now, I bust my ass to take care of myself, okay? My degree is in mind-body transpersonal psychology with a minor in health and holistic nutrition, okay? I'm vegetarian/vegan. When I'm home, primarily vegan. Sometimes I'll have some animal products, which would be like honey. Maybe sometimes I'll have eggs. I don't drink milk. I don't like milk. Sometimes I might have cheese. Every now and then I'll do some gelato, which is really rare, but my body doesn't like sweets, and it definitely doesn't do well on unhealthy foods. It just doesn't. And that's been for quite some time. So, you know, I'm very fond of, you know, taking powdered chlorella. You know, I take all sorts of supplements. My body actually craves it. My body, once I did a major purging and cleansing about 11 years ago, my body just doesn't like shit. I mean, actually, I stopped eating fast food probably over 25 years ago. I don't like fast foods. Now I might go to In-N-Out and get some fresh French fries every now and then, but that's maybe 4 times a year. 4 times a year. So, I just find it interesting that there's all these people that are in these places of authority, and we put all of our trust and our faith and our respect in them to share the truth with us about things, but they just give us this doomsday story. Nobody tells you how you can eat right and things that you can do to boost your immune system. We just get this half-assed story about things, but we don't get the full story, okay? We get all these numbers about what's happening with people and all these different cases, but we don't hear about all these other people that got this, but then they got better. We don't hear about that. So to me, that's fear-mongering. And again, I talk about the prostitute archetype. So when things don't make sense, you follow the sex and you follow the money. Who's getting paid to tell you what they're telling you? We need to ask ourselves those questions. I'm not getting paid to tell you shit. You know, my kids are the ones that are even the ones wanting me to get out on social media and talk about shit. Otherwise, you know me, I travel all over the world. I'd be on a beach somewhere. Fuck this shit. I'd be doing my own thing. I wouldn't be talking about anything. My kids were the ones that wanted me to start talking about this stuff. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. It's not that I don't care. I do care. But at the same time, everyone's here to have their human experience. I'm not here to try to dissuade you or convince you anything. I'm just here to say, maybe you should be asking some questions. Maybe you need to be asking a lot of questions. I was probably the most inquisitive child that was born the year that I was born. I drove my parents fucking crazy. I asked them questions they couldn't answer. I would know the answer, but I would test them because I'm a pretty evolved soul. I'm an old soul. And my parents wouldn't answer the questions right. And so eventually I stopped asking them. I'd ask my teachers. They wouldn't be able to answer the questions, so I stopped asking them. And I realized that they didn't know, or they were being deceptive and they didn't want to tell me the truth. So then I stopped trusting them. So when I, you know, get married, start having kids, I think, oh, the responsible thing is to watch the news. See what the news is going to tell me so that I can be a responsible adult and take care of my children. At 17, almost 18, I was married and had a child. Every single news channel that I turned on was saying the same old shit.
Sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Repetition is a wonderful form of mind control.
Doomsday, be afraid, the East Side Rapist. Now that tells you about how old I am. If you know who the East Side Rapist was, I'm from Northern California. My grandma was terrified of the East Side Rapist. She put bars up all over her. She's so terrified about the East Side Rapist. Every single news station was talking about the East Side Rapist. But I started noticing, they're all saying the same fucking thing. And then as I got a couple, when I go back to when I was a child, I was like, we turn on, we want to watch something. Everybody was showing and saying the same old thing. Now, many, many years later, I look and I realize, oh my God, it's the same group of people that own all the fucking stations, all the news channels. Propaganda, social engineering, psychological warfare, like they're all saying the same thing. This means you need to step out of that and you need to look into other means of news. Because if it's all saying the same thing and the shit doesn't add up and it doesn't make sense, something's not quite right. And to me, the prostitute archetype is at play because people are being paid to say the same thing to keep people in a place of fear. Yeah? And that's really, 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 really low on the consciousness scale. Really super, super low. It's not a place of power. It's not a place of power. It's a place of force because people are projecting and they're forcing their fears on you. Now, when we break that down, there's so many different layers to that because I believe that there's a small group of beings on this planet that are stuck and they can't evolve and they can't grow and they don't want to see everybody else grow up and evolve and move on to the higher octaves with regards to consciousness and expansion, all that. So they're pulling out all the stops because they're stuck and so they want everybody else to be stuck with them. You know that term, misery loves company? Yeah, I believe that's what's going on right now. I feel that, I intuit that that's what's going on. And it's not fair. I don't, no child left behind in the school system, but when you're a grown ass adult or you're a grown something and you've been on this planet many, many lifetimes, you're still doing the same old fucking shit over and over and over and over again, that's shameful and it's sad because you obviously don't have the capacity to grow. So why is it everybody else's problem? Why do you want to try to drag everybody else down with you? Why can't you just go and sit and work through your shit? Nobody's going to be able to help you. And when you want to suck off of and live off of others because you can't figure out your own shit, then you're a parasite. Now, mind you, I'm saying you're a parasite. Does that mean that because you're a parasite, you should just burn in hell and you should cease to exist? No, it's just a statement. You're a parasite. You're living off of other people and other energies because you can't sustain yourself because you're either stuck or you don't have the capacity to grow or you're choosing not to grow. I can't say which one it is because I'm this is what I incarnated as, and I love to learn, and I'm going to continue to love to learn and grow, and I'm not going to be dogmatic. I'm going to look at things from multiple lenses, which I encourage everybody else to do as well. But if you're stuck and you want to suck off of other people because you can't figure your shit out and you don't want to figure your shit out and you want to be greedy and you want to be selfish and self-centered, yeah, that's really, really shameful behavior. It's really shameful behavior and it's time to grow up. I don't believe that everybody else should have to sit here and wait on your ass. Maybe you need to be in your own little bubble, in your own little planet, you and other beings that are like you, and figure your shit out. It's really not cool to try to have everybody else sit and wait on your ass. In a nutshell, it really isn't. So, it's shameful to lie to people about things, and it's shameful to try to control the narrative, but it's all going to be exposed, and at the end of the day, your word is going to mean shit. Everything about what you say is going to be shit. No one's going to believe you. No one's going to trust you. And you're going to be sitting there alone with the conscious choices that you've made. And no one's going to be able to do anything for you. So, yeah. But I still see your divinity. I still see your divinity. How you're going to express it, that's on you.